to December 21 of 2023. And be it further resolved that the Chief Financial Officer of the Wayne Westland School District has certified that the 15% or higher fund balance was never in jeopardy. This is a resolution. Do I have a motion to support?
So moved.
Moved by Hines. Does it have a second?
I support.
By Ms. Abney Mitchell. Discussion. Mr. Neal.
I have a number of things to say. First of all, in the resolution, it says that the previous resolution was proposed by myself, that's accurate, but was not acted upon by myself, it was acted upon by the full board.
Yes.
So that needs to be revised so that it doesn't appear that I proposed and also acted upon alone. And then the other thing is, it says, there's several things. It says here that the Chief Financial Officer has certified that there is a 15% or higher fund balance. And my question is, certified to who?
Certified to the board. It should be in your packet.
In what,
It is not.
in what way was it certified? I mean, we've had lots of numbers float in and out, you know, deficits, excess monies. How was this, I know that next month we're gonna be receiving an audit, which actually would show us some kind of proof. But,
The audit is complete. I did mean to.
but it's a review of the audit. So my point is, I don't know that it's been certified. But let me go to the original resolution as it's related to this. I know some board members have been working really hard trying to get that money back, but if you go back to when we had those contentious meetings, the auditorium full of hundreds of people, people were angry, and rightfully so. They were angry about our finances, they were angry about the results of those finances, what it meant to all of our employees in our district. And there was a lot of finger pointing about blame. And yet we sat up there through several meetings and didn't really take blame on ourselves. We asked for others to, but we didn't really do it ourselves. So the original resolution really spoke to the fact that, do you really feel good about this as a board, taking an 80-some% increase? I know we did it, and you're correct, we did it at a time when we thought the budget was healthy, but it was only a few months before that, and we needed to demonstrate that we as a board are willing to accept the responsibility in some way. Well, when it was presented, I purposely included the fact that it would reverse itself if we exceeded a 15% above what we needed for our budget. And I know you're saying it's certified that that's true now. But the reason I put the 15% in there was because our employees had contracts that gave them bonuses so long as we didn't fall below the 15%. So it was my intent to tie it in directly to that. If they don't get their bonuses, we shouldn't have our pay until we worked hard enough to reverse the situation and bring things back to normal. In my observation and estimate, we haven't quite. Now, we did find money that wasn't working hard. We found money that we didn't know was there. Now we're talking about a surplus. So I guess my point here is that the intent of this was to ensure that we did work hard in order to make this happen. Now, if you remember back then, we decided, or somebody decided, we're going to get rid of Dr. Dignan. A lot of people were happy about that. But that was because of the loss, and we thought it was a loss. It was a loss, but the blame fell on him. And the blame should have fallen on us, which it did. So I guess what I'm saying here is, I don't know that we have put ourselves in a position to collect this money back. I want to know a couple of things, like when did the ESSER money get counted as being back in the budget? Because there might be a gap between when you want to go back retroactive and that point. Excuse me. There might be a little difference there. And also the fact that these ESSER funds are only temporary. are we gonna let it now fall below 15% in the next budget? Or are we gonna do something to make sure that it doesn't? I don't want the board to think that we just snap our fingers and we get all our money back, going retroactive to the day we said we weren't gonna take it anymore, as if we didn't hold some blame, and we did hold blame. I don't think this should be voted in the yes. I think it should be voted down. If you can come up with something that makes more sense, something in between, like, you know, a little period here where the ESSER funds were counted and now up to this point, but when we fall below 15, we'll go back again to the other, something like that, I could support, but not just giving yourself all the money back.
Can I
Thank
say
you.
something?
Thank you, Mr. Neal. Please,
Thank you.
please direct your comments.
Yes, so I'd like to direct it. So I'd like to say I've been on the board 10 years. We've been on the board, haven't had a raise in a lot of years. Recently, we've had a lot of meetings, lots of extra committee meetings, and some board members have not even participated, but yet getting the same stipend. Even when we're going to these events, we're supporting our staff and our students. That costs money. You know, the gas, you know, we're supporting everybody in these extra meetings. This is causing, you know, it's kind of cutting into my job, you know, what I do for a living. So and I have complete dedication to the district, but we did that in good faith. You know, unfortunately, thank God we found the money, but we shouldn't have to be penalized because it is, you know, how are we gonna get new board members coming on and you're not even getting anything? It's already hard enough to get board members. We have 2 new people coming on board for the next, you know, year, and there's one person that's leaving the board. So to have us all suffer, because again, you know, this is a thankless job. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of hours. We have all these different events coming on. Like we got homecoming Friday, you know, Wayne and Glenn, we have another. So when we're supporting that, you know, again, that's expensive. But all these additional meetings because of the deficit, you know, I'm on additional committees. I don't mind serving, but that's taking time out of the day. So, and you have other board members, again, getting paid the same amount of money who's not even going to meetings or committees. And that's, I'm going to put that there.
Thank you. Any other comments, Ms.
Yes.
Abney Mitchell?
I have a comment. Well, my comment is that we was, based on our trustee, we was at those meetings. It was heartfelt for us to have to lay people off. And especially when we start having the conversation around Thanksgiving and Christmas. We was at those meetings and the board, good faith after, we took the cut. And I even suggested the administration take the cut. Things had to be moved around, people had to be moved. We had one person, which I believe was making decisions for the whole board. We had to move that person, then we had to move another person just to get the audit that we was asking for. And now we got the audit and we found the money was never lost. The money was found. So all we asking is for what we gave up. And I don't see nothing wrong with that.
Anyone else wish to address the board?
Dr. Weaver?
Yes, Mr. Cox.
You know, the reason that the stipend was changed from $3,200 was because that was established, if I'm not mistaken, like 27 years ago. The Board of Education at that time felt that that was an amount of money that was fair compensation for the involved.
It was 27 years
now-
ago.
Please.
As Ms. Hines said, there's a lot of hard work here. There's no question about it. And actually, even though the money increased, the board never took a raise. We decided not to take a raise. What we decided to do was allow the cost of living adjustment to be made on that money that was appropriated 27 years ago. And the result of that mathematics was the $5,900 that Dr. Weaver mentioned, which we received. As the president of the board, I was the one driving that, and one of the reasons I drove it was because we want service on the Board of Education to be something that is attractive to younger people in the community. Take a look. It needs to be something that people say, hey, I'm willing to give it the time and attention it deserves, and to have a fair amount of compensation. Now, you'll remember when we had a vacancy to fill, there was probably 6 or 7 or 8, I forget how many,
13.
people in the audience, all of whom great candidates, by the way, that were interested in the job. However, at the last filing deadline, there was only 2 people that even filed for this job. And so I still think that there is a valid reason for returning the compensation to where it was. However, what Ms. Sample said, and what Mr. Khan said, if you have a checkbook and you are reconciling your checkbook and you find out that you're $700 under what you thought, that's bad. And if you find out you're $700 over what you thought, that's just as bad.
Yes, it is.
It has to be accurate. And all this certification is, no offense, Dr. Weaver, is just the latest person's idea. How do we know that person's right? Tonight, I have been approving many spending proposals because the district needs to continue operating. The kids are back in school and they need tools, and that's what we buy here. But we're not talking about the kids now. We're talking about us. I'm in favor of it. I really think that we as a board, as a community, the unions, all have to take another look at. We need accurate financial information that we can count on. And I don't know how that looks because I've been here for many, many years and always believed that the way we were doing things was prudent, that we were getting good information. You can't make good decisions with bad information. But now, like as a sample, I don't know what I'm gonna hear next. And frankly, folks, I don't have the expertise to know. I can look at that budget and I understand what people are saying, but I know that school district financing is completely different than financing in the commercial realm. People who are CPAs don't necessarily know anything about how to manage the money for a school district. Now, it used to be that we had 2 people down in the finance department, and across the way there was another person that would kind of check their work to make sure that what was coming out of that department was accurate. I think that's the answer as long as we got 3 really good people. But what if we got 3 people that don't know what they're doing? And all the auditor does is add up the numbers on the page and decide if 4 and 4 is 8. They don't check every single thing that was done throughout the course of the year to make sure that was accurate. In other words, they don't recreate the entire job day by day to say, yes, I agree with this. They only do the adding at the end. I think the board, with the help of the MASB and whatever other resource we think that we can identify, look at the destruction. It's as if the captain said the ship is sinking, everybody's got to go to the lifeboats, and some people fit in the lifeboats, and the people that didn't, we threw overboard, and they said, oh, wait a minute, false alarm, it was just a washing machine. The people are already in the ocean. And already believe that those are the ones we didn't care about. We love you all. But the mission here is the children. It really isn't to be an employer. We're an employer because we need to for the children. So we've created all this hatred. I can't think of how many times people came up. You did this. No, we didn't. Children would sit here in front of their parents and talk to us the way I hope my children never talk to adults. And yet you took it because we are the ones that are supposed to be watching this. So long term, the answer has to be that we can set up a system so no future Board of Education ever does or has happened to them what we had happen to us. We were in a good direction. Maybe everybody that worked in the school district wasn't perfect at their job, but the synergy was positive. We were moving forward. We had made a determination that we were going to get our employees up in terms of their pay for the first time in years and years and years. By the way, we got to do that. But we have to know how much money we have first. So I'm not against this. I'm voting no tonight because we've got a lot to resolve before I'm ready to vote yes on this.
Thank you, Mr. Cox. Mr. Neal.
Thank you.
He was the president.
Just one little additional thought. A comment was made that the money was never lost. It's not exactly true, and we had a chief financial officer who failed to log monies in and
More than
out the way
one.
they should have. And so our numbers looked like we had more than we really did. And then we filled the gap with ESSER funds that were supposed to go somewhere else, but we threw them into the budget to make up for the loss. So there really was money missing that we didn't know about. So it's not like this was hidden money that we just found, it's money we took away from other projects and stuffed into that hole. And now we're talking about voting to give ourselves our money back based on the fact we took money away from other valuable projects to fill the gap. And for transparency, this shouldn't be voted on tonight anyhow. Should be a first read.
Thank you, Mr. Neal. Anyone else?
It don't have to be a first read, the other one wasn't a
Last one
first
was the
read.
first read.
All right, it's been moved and favored. I want to say, before we vote, that we heard from Mr. Khan tonight that the unions are negotiating with our administration, that it's my understanding both sides are feeling pretty good about where we're at. So you're talking in terms of $14,000. That's what it is. That's what we're up here arguing tonight. That may sound a lot to you personally, but in the scope of a $150 million budget, this really doesn't add up, as far as I'm concerned, to something that's going to hurt the district. Now, you've heard from some board members tonight about what we do. If you feel like that all we do is come to a board meeting once a month and we get paid for it, let me just say that you are sadly mistaken. I serve personally as the chairman of the policy committee. I've substituted on finance committee. I am now a part of the committee on the whole for finance. I serve on the disciplinary committee. I serve on the reinstatement committee. And as vice president, the president and I participate weekly with our superintendent to make sure that everything is going according to plan. So when I tell you this is hours and hours and hours of work, that's exactly what I mean. So I'm going to let it go to a vote. It's been moved and favored.
Point of order, Mr. President. I brought it up, but I haven't heard affirmation from you that you'll change the wording of the sentence that says that it was proposed by me and acted upon by me. I don't mind if it says that it was proposed by Mark Neal, a member of the board, on December 21st, and unanimously voted on by the board. That would be accurate in the resolution, not that I acted alone.
In which whereas are you at?
It's the first one.
Okay. Is it true that you proposed this resolution?
It is true.
Okay. It says nothing about, it says nothing about you being the only person.
No, but it does say acted
It should
upon.
be understood that this was acted upon by the full board.
What doesn't say that, it says acted upon by me.
It was proposed by you.
But that's not the way somebody wrote this sentence. That's not correct English. You can't say that it's proposed and acted upon by board member Mark Neal.
Okay.
You can say that it's proposed by me and acted upon by the board, but not the way this is written.
I would like to offer an amendment. A resolution was proposed by board member Mark Neal and voted on by the entire board on December 23rd, on December 21st, 2023. Do I have a motion to make that change?
Support.
support by Hines. Do I have a second?
I second.
Seconded by Ms. Abney Mitchell. So now we are voting on the amendment, and the amendment is to say a resolution was proposed by Board Member Neal and acted upon by the Board of Education December 21st, 2023. Roll call vote?
Hines, yes. Cox,
No.
Neal,
Yes.
Abney Mitchell,
Yes.
Ms. May,
It's just on the amendment.
yes,
That's just the amendment.
and Dr. Weaver,
Yes.
motion carried.
Dr. Weaver? I'm sorry, Ms. Hines, I meant to vote yes on the amendment. I'd like to change my vote to yes. I thought we were voting on the compensation plan.
Very well, thank you, Mr. Cox.
Okay.
All right, we are back to the original motion. It's been moved and favored. So we're going to a roll call vote to restore the board's compensation. Ms. Hines?
Ms. May,
Yes.
Ms. Hines, yes. Ms. Abney Mitchell,
Yes.
Mr. Cox,
No.
Mr. Neal,
No.
Dr. Weaver,
Yes.
motion carries.
We're moving on to item 176.25 on non-agenda items. Let me make a privileged statement before we go into this. The hour is late, but that's fine. We'll be here as long as we need to be to hear you. I am acting in behalf of our board president, Brad Gray. Please respect the 3-minute rule. 3 minutes should be enough for you to make your statement, and continuing to talk over the gaveling of the chair is just not acceptable. I'm not trying to be mean about it, but we all have 3 minutes, and so I just wanted to lay that out there. Now, tonight, I'm trying to accommodate the children that are here, their parents are here and want to speak. Brandon Demeter.
Hello, board. My name is Brandon Demeter. I am Christopher's father. I want to bring to your guys' attention, I'm getting rumors and hearing about the school is going to be closing down. And Walker Winter Elementary School is a great school. You guys making a big mistake. You guys close that school down. You guys can be sacrificing our children's future by doing that. I want you guys, when you guys go home at night, look at my son. Look at him. Okay? My son was mentally, physically, emotionally abused by my ex. And Walker Winter Elementary reassured my son, Christopher, for his protection. He went to school, and people were telling my ex where he was going. Walker Winter Elementary School stood up for my son, stood there for him, and protected him. I'm upset because I'm hearing about, oh, money this, money that. That's all that's all I hear. Just white noise. Think of the children. Think of my son. Think about his kids. You know, I owe it all to the teachers, the principal, and my community. I am Walker Winter Elementary proud, and I'll do anything for my community. My dad's a veteran, and so am I. I love you all, and I want you guys to serve, keep the school open.
Thank you.
If it's okay, my son Christopher to say something real quick.
Hello, my name is Christopher.
Hi, Christopher.
Hi, Christopher.
I don't want my school closing down as taking all the kids' education away.
All right.
I want my school open because we all love this school. And we all love our teachers too. please open this school.
Thank you, Christopher.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to me, you guys. God bless you all.
Thank you. Millennia Rondo.
Thank you, Chris.
Nice job, Christopher. I'm usually asleep by now.
Aw, good night.
Good night. Good night, Chris.
I love this job.
Please continue.
Good night, thanks.
Please continue.
Good evening. My name is Millennial Rondo. I attend the 4th grade at Walker Winter Elementary School. There's many reasons why I urge you to keep the school open, so I'll name just a few. This school means so much to me for so many reasons. Walker has been like a second home, and all the teachers and staff have been like family for the past 5 years of my life. A lot of my friends and myself were blessed enough to have the same teacher, Mrs. Ganchow, for 3 years of our lives. This allowed us to create lifelong bonds and experiences together. This taught us how impactful teamwork and friendship is. This is just one of the examples of how unbelievably unique Walker is. There is truly no other school that has been able to impact kids the way ours has. I know I'm not speaking just for myself when I say without this school I would not be the person I am today. Our Walker teachers are all amazing and make sure each child is listened to. They push us to be our best selves. Support our individual and support each and always push us to go above and beyond and reach our potential. A good friend of mine who just moved here this year says Walker Winter is the best school I have ever attended to. You don't get bullied, your teachers are kind, and they love you. Your friends are true, and I am so happy I am going here now. Some more things that set Walker Winter apart include a few activities that we look forward to each and every year. We have Dolphin Dash, which is actually this upcoming Friday. Each kid raises pledge money from sponsors. The money goes towards our school for field trips, activities, and things we need to be our best selves. Our school sports and lots of other things that we need to have a successful year. After we raise money, we have a running marathon that our families all attend to and cheer us on together. We always hit our goal. This year, families attend. This year, we've set a goal of $10,000, which obviously we are going to crush it. It really brings everyone close. You really see the impacts it leaves on us well as the school. Our STEM project is probably my favorite thing about that we have to do together. This program is with different subjects that we work on together. Things like coding and robotics. Did you know that even our kindergartners are coding? Yes, Walker Winter 5-year-olds are doing some things that middle schoolers do and haven't even done yet.
Thank you, Millennia, for addressing the board.
Hi, my name is Raven Pete. I'm Millie's mom, and I'm also her brother's mom. We have been building lifelong friendships at Walker for about 5 years now, and I know I speak for every parent at the school when I say that the school has completely changed our kids' lives due to the teachers and staff just being so different than anywhere else. From our first few days at Walker, this is where I knew we would be for the next 5 years of our lives. We immediately felt welcomed with open arms. The word unique doesn't even come close to describing just how special this school is. Where else are kids able to walk into a school greeted by the sound of an acoustic guitar in the morning, or told funny riddles in the hallways before school to set the tone for the day? Well, at Walker, you always have Mr. H in the hallways doing his thing, putting a smile on all the kids' faces. There's never a dull, boring, or quiet morning here. Another thing that sets us apart from these other schools is our STEM program. Our kids in kindergarten, through 5th grade have been doing coding and even robotics. Walker Winter staff and teachers aren't just thinking of how the curriculum can teach them today, they're thinking of how we can start setting interest in these kids and preparing them for life. Probably one of the biggest things that makes me feel safe with this school is anytime I pass by the school, whether I'm picking the kids up or just doing errands or working, I always see a police officer either in the parking lot or in a parking lot nearby, just watching the school. No, there's no issues. They're literally just there keeping our children safe and protected and just watching how things go. This isn't something that I've ever seen at any other school or heard from talking with any other parents. So my question is, why would you want to take such a safe place away from our children? This world is evil and it loves to target our babies, and I can honestly say that I have peace of mind during the school day knowing that Walker is just regularly patrolled by officers of Canton. I've witnessed the secretary and the principal, as well as staff and teachers, go above and beyond for students and students with disabilities. No matter what they come to the office needing, whether it's a quiet place to calm down or a place to vent, they are never turned away, and they're cared for so lovingly with the utmost patience that even I'm still trying to learn as a mother of two. Our teachers here are constantly going above and beyond and pushing our kids to their maximum potential. My son's favorite teacher, Mr. Chris, in his 2nd grade class, he had them do a college level paper as 2nd graders, citing and all, and he aced it. And I want you to tell me another school in this district where you know that kindergarten or 2nd graders are capable of that. I could be here all night telling you all these amazing qualities of Walker Winter, but I don't even know if it would do anything. To you, it might just be another building in another school, but to all of our kids and us parents, the school is our home, and we've met forever
I'm sorry,
friends.
Ms. Peak, your time is expired.
No problem.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Markey, I had the distinct non-pleasure of cutting you off earlier. So we're not going to start the timer until you're here. Are you ready? Do you have your breath?
Yes.
Okay, here you go.
Okay. So left off, yes, definitely thank you to Jewel Claire for coming in and quickly proving the point that the WWEA has been making from the beginning. At every meeting after the original audit, we have been pushing toward the goal of using ESSER funds to get out from the overspending that occurred. What you were saying, like, yeah, we did spend the money. You're right, we did spend the money, and this just covered it. To restabilize the district. At the December 18, 2023 meeting, we went so far as to say that if the district were to follow through and not spend the ESSER money as planned on other things, quote, we could have $32 million in the fund or maybe more. December. On September 12, 2024, the district reported that we have $32 million. Nobody gave credit to the WWEA, who stood strong in their beliefs and finally helped prove that the district was in better shape than they thought. I made the long drive home a bit sad that evening. Next up in our cooperative investigation is the comment that the previous superintendent told the previous financial officer that they needed to quickly spend down the general fund by $8 million because it was quite hefty. This unfortunately reeks of a spend down to avoid paying the 1% to the employees based on a general fund balance over the 15% mandated by the board. This is found in Article 18.1 of our contract. It's hard to believe that someone would rush to spend $8 million on whatever they could to avoid paying a 1% increase to over 700 employees that would have cost maybe $500,000. The WWEA is looking forward to working with the district to figure that one out. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Markey. Catherine Mock, am I pronouncing that right?
Yes, you did. I will be quick because I know we all want to get out of here. And I also talk really fast, so that'll help. Good evening. I come to you as a concerned Walker Winter Dolphin parent. My children have been attending Walker Winter since the fall of 2021, sorry. My son is in 3rd grade and my daughter in 1st. When we attended Walker in the fall of 2021, we were told that the district was likely to close the school, but that given COVID, they were choosing to keep it open for that time being. As the school year happened and summer came, nothing changed and we started a new school year. But the rumors continued. My son's first grade classroom was so overcrowded that they had to hire additional teachers to support and added them in the middle of September. With the constant threats that the building would close, many parents whose students attended the school as school of choice from other districts and other buildings have chosen to remove that. With that, my children have lost classmates, teachers, and educators out of fear of having to find a new school or find a new job. I went to the Michigan School Data website and pulled the information regarding projected student growth where ELA standards are concerned. Walker is one of 3 elementary schools in the district that is above statewide testing scores. That's the latest information listed was 22-23, as 23-24 has not posted yet. Now, I know that schools are more than standardized test scores, but that should count for something. That Walker Winter has a history of students excelling beyond district and statewide standards. Outside of education my children receive, the teachers at Walker Winter and the staff go above and beyond to support their students, both in the classroom and out. Teachers who go out of their way to recognize a child succeeding in their sport by leaving notes in their classroom. My son's staying in speech therapy long after he could have left to stay with his favorite teacher. I'm sure there are hundreds of stories about great moments for Walker Winter students with staff, but how well can our teachers teach in overcrowded classrooms? How well can our teachers teach when they're fearing having to find new jobs? My children will continue to thrive regardless of what building they go to, but if my 6-year-old were here to tell you, she only wants to be a Dolphin. Thank you.
Candace Bailey. Candace Bailey. Not here. Susan Montagalois. Magellan. Oh, my goodness, I am so sorry.
Miss M is fine. It's when everybody at the building knows me, and I don't want to stand too close to the microphone because I'm a loud person. My name is Susan Magellan. I'm a 5th grade teacher at Walker Winter. I started this district at Marshall. The year I started at Marshall, I was moved out of Marshall to Hoover. Hoover closed, sort of, because then it was repurposed to at a minimal capacity in the land that is the most valuable to you. That particular location has had houses being built, apartments being built on Van Born. There's scheduled to be another subdivision dropped in that area, as well as a townhouse complex that we have heard is going in near Wayne Road. Those are all in our general facility. That means our enrollment is going to just continue to go up. Right now, 5th grade's at maximum. We're at 27 in each one of our classrooms. There is no anticipation of anybody giving us another teacher. We were told it's going to go to 32 before they'll even talk about giving us any assistance. Our staff has done a magnificent job. We have done all the STEM prep. We have done all the work that we can possibly do to bring us into the 21st century. We have to have a school designated as a STEM facility. And what you did when the knee-jerk reaction of we need to close Walker, you went back to a 10-year-old plan that said we're going to systematically close these schools without looking at any of the data. What you also did was you knocked the wind out of all of our parents, you knocked it out of all of our staff, and we lost good people because of it. I think what you owe us now is to put it on the next agenda that you're going to state on the record that our building isn't going to close. You have found the money or got the money situation figured out. There's no reason to close a school. It's not even the lowest capacity school in a very skewed way of deciding what capacity is. That would be 30 students in the staff lounge, 30 students in the copy room, and that would be 30 students in a CI room that doesn't deserve to ever have anything of that size. I think you owe us to say Walker Winter is not scheduled to close and put it on record. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. M. Ms. Williams?
Hello. So I am a 23-year Wayne Westland employee, and I have spent the last 4 weeks at Walker. And I just wanted to share some data that was recently published by Brown University about the impact of school closures on students. I know the board will consider the financial benefits to the school district if Walker is closed, but I just want to make sure that the impact on the students is also considered. So I am going to read to you a couple of quotes from an article called "The Harm of School Closures Can Last a Lifetime, New Research Shows." And this is from Education Week, and I do have a copy for each board member when I'm finished. Okay, so previously, people had only thought about the short-term impact on students of school closures. Short-term impacts include statistically significant drops in math and reading scores among students who went through a school closure. Students were absent 1.8% more school days in the 3 years following the school closure than the 3 years before. There is also found to have been an increase in disciplinary action, including expulsions, out-of-school suspensions, and in-school suspensions for behavior following school closures. The number of days students were disciplined for bad behavior in the 3 years following a school closure increased by 15% compared to the 3 years before school closures. In the long term, these are some of the impacts that students experience. By age 26, the students who experienced school closures were 4.8% less likely to have attended college. They were 4.7% less likely to have completed college, and they were 1.3% less likely to be employed than their peers in schools with similar demographics and in similarly sized cities who did not experience a school closure. Additionally, their annual earnings for students ages 25 to 27 were 3.4% lower than their peers who did not experience a school closure. These impacts were felt more heavily by students who are economically disadvantaged or students of color. For example, Hispanic students were absent 6.4% more days following a school closure. Black students experienced a 33% jump in number of days on which they received disciplinary action following a school closure. And economically disadvantaged students were absent 7.3% more often following a school closure. And they also had the highest increase of any group for the number of days of disciplinary action, 38%. So as we consider whether or not to close any school in Wayne Westland, I just would like the board to think about the fact that our students' great futures start with our great decisions in the present.
Thank you, Ms.
Thank you.
Williams. Ms. Sample. Ms. Sample.
It wasn't on the first time. Okay. Few things. Years ago, the staff that, and this is, I'm talking like a decade ago, when staff were laid off, if they brought them back in the hiring, in the packets that we used to get, it would say brought back from layoff. I know it's different. We're now saying that there's money available. All the staff that were laid off after the knee-jerk reaction happened last year, is there any process to bring them back? Because that was not fair, in my point, just saying. The new hire package that's in here, 3 out of the 6 were out of the district. And one of the spec ads were from in the district. Was that a consideration for more people in the district to bring forth? Would also like the district and community to know about the meeting posted on the front door about the superintendent evaluation tomorrow at 5:30. Would also like to thank the board for putting up the no parking signs on the school streets. And however, just let you know, traffic is still needed to be monitored by the police. Since the beginning of the school year, only 1 police has patrolled my area. And just today, when I was leaving my house, I had a car parked in front of mine and sat there. The person would not get out, had their 2 children come across, and again, that's a dangerous thing to happen. I do not like that at all, and this is getting worse this year beyond all the school years. I have been the lone person asking about getting the media more involved about the millage. I've said this multiple times. Now we're coming down. Election's right around the corner. Nothing's been done. Putting it on the website's one thing, but we need more social activity. more social media activity if you guys want this passed. Also, are all the finance meetings like the one September 12th, is that gonna be in retreat form style moving forward? I know they had it last time, but is this going to continue? I would like to know that. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Sample. Laura DeMarco? Excuse me, Ms. Laura DeMarco.
It didn't start yet. So I wanted to actually come up and talk about the finance committee meeting. I wasn't aware that it was happening until afterwards, but I did watch the video, and it felt very informative, and it felt really good to hear some of those discussions that are going on around those things that are being brought forward to vote on at the meeting. It was good to hear the background on the different tech decisions and why those decisions were being made. I really liked getting to hear all of that. And so regarding whether that'll continue in the future, I don't know what policy-wise you can and can't do, what is available to the public and what isn't. But it would be awesome if we could have more of that, more with policy committee meetings, more with finance committee meetings, knowing who is doing what, who is attending which meetings. That's really helpful. And so I just wanted to throw that out there so that you guys could consider that for the future. And then the other thing I wanted to suggest was back when Ms. Curry first joined the team as the acting superintendent, there was the 3 days of the community forums, and followed by an extensive frequently asked questions. And we get a lot of questions again now because the situation has changed dramatically, apparently. And so I think it might be time for another frequently asked questions, another explanation, just because I'm hearing so many different things. Even tonight in the meeting, I'm hearing different things from different people, and all of us are just really confused. Like, we'd like to get a handle on what's going on. And because it just keeps changing. So we'd like to know. I think there's something else I had to say, but I can say it tomorrow. So thank you.
You have 55 seconds.
I can't. Do you want me to stand here?
No, I don't. I do not want you to stand there. Miss Tanya Karpinski, just keeping it real.
Good evening. I just wanted to share a few things in regards to some of the comments and what has been said tonight, not only by the board, but some of the speakers. So again, tonight, the union is requesting that the WWEA contract is upheld and that the work between the union and district is able to move forward with specifically Article 2.10 in mind. That is the article, when you refer to it, that talks about the administration and the board prior to consideration or adoption of any new or modified fiscal, budgetary, or tax programs, construction programs, or major revisions of educational policy. The board shall inform the association in writing of such proposals and solicit the association's opinion prior to taking any action. I think if that article in and of itself would have been being followed for the past year, it could have prevented a lot of the unfortunate circumstances that have occurred. The good news is, as you heard Mr. Khan state, and I just wanted to clarify, he said, we knew this all along as the union. We didn't necessarily know. We suspected, we hoped, we believed, but it took us request after request and months of trying to seek the information that we needed, that fortunately Ms. Jewel Claire was able to confirm what we had been suspecting and hoping all along. Again, because that transparency, that collaborative environment was missing from the previous administration. The union was kept in the dark, and it unfortunately has caused a lot of the fallout you've seen. The fallout that has caused district employees to leave across every level, from threats of privatization that never needed to exist, from the instability and lack of clarity around the financial situation. We've lost numerous staff. This is impacting our students. You've heard from a specific building tonight, but it is happening district-wide. The WWEA is working without a contract, as you know, and that instability exists. We have vacant positions, service needs of students not being met, and many contractual language items such as placement, evaluations, just cause, to name a few, that we're now able to bargain again over, and we need that done in a rapid process in order to start moving forward, to bring back stability, to attract and retain not only the staff we need for our members and to provide our students the education they need, but for, as a community, as a whole, to continue to move forward and start rebuilding back some of this trust. We heard a lot about spending tonight. There were numerous action items on the agenda that Dr. O'Feely read from former administrator that is no longer here in regards to technology. And we kept hearing that this isn't going to cost anything because it's coming out of ESSER 3. In closing, I would like to go back to that Article 2.10 and remind you about that ESSER 3 money. As you know, it's supposed to be spent by September 30th. That's obligated. If an extension is needed for capital projects and/or contractual services, districts need to be in communication with the MDE now to file for an extension waiver on October 1st. Currently, Wayne Westland is listed 10th as the districts in the state that still have money remaining, with a balance of $3,075,385.
Thank you, Ms. Karpinski. Item 177.25, Acting Superintendent's Report.
Thank you, Dr. Weaver. Congratulations to all of our employees of the year. Your hard work and dedication has made a significant impact on our district, and we are proud to celebrate your achievements. Our district is excited to work with our partners to host a trunk or treat on October 17th, where we will share resources and provide a fun evening for all of our families. Additionally, our high schools will be hosting their homecoming events over the next 2 weeks, and we hope you can join in the celebrations. As you know, we've had to cancel some bus routes this past school year due to staffing shortages. Our transportation department has been working diligently to address the situation, doing their best to ensure that all routes are covered as quickly as possible. We truly appreciate their dedication and hard work, and we are grateful for your continued patience and understand as we navigate this challenge together. Lastly, at the October board meeting, the results of the audit will be shared, and Ms. Claire will present an amended budget. Thank you.
Thank you, Acting Superintendent Curry. 178.25, Review and Recommendations from the Board of Education. Let me just say to you as the chairman tonight that you will not be interrupted, and you're free to say whatever you'd like to say. I'm going to start with Ms. Abney Mitchell. Please, no names.
Okay, well, I'm gonna say most of my comments for tomorrow, but I did have a comment about the, transportation. We have been getting, I'm gonna say I've been getting, and I'm sure my colleagues also has been getting, I have got emails and texts, and, I'm the person that goes to different bus stops and, you know, offer the kids to go to football games and stuff if they never been before. So I hear about those stories. But you are completely aware of it, and you're on the job. And it's also, I looked on the website today, we are hiring bus transportation. You know, if you know anybody that need a job or looking for a job that's qualified, we are looking for people. Since the beginning of the school year, September the 5th, we have canceled over 20 routes. And some routes are being repeated. And that is a big concern. So, and everything else I'll talk about tomorrow, but thank you for bringing that up, because that's what I had, because that's important. Okay.
Thank you, Ms. Abney Mitchell. Mr. Neal.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I guess what I'd like to say is, if you look around the room, we often see those of you in red shirts who are representing your group, and I think it's great. A lot of people have left the room by now, but it's always nice to see how many people are here in support of a group and what their interests are. I especially appreciate Walker Winter for coming. The only thing I would suggest is that your dark blue Save Walker Winter shirts blend in, and you need like a neon yellow. So that, because you had a lot of people here, although some had to leave, it would have been nice to know exactly how many people. I mean, I looked around, I could see quite a few, but I know a lot have left. Walker Winter is a very special school. I've been through it many times. I'm aware of your, not only your unique location, but your unique population and the programs that you have, unlike any of our other schools. It's a school that has to be saved, and I hope that you keep reminding us of the importance of your school and the programs that you offer. What my concern is that if Walker Winter were to close, that its unique population that sometimes requires special services would seek them outside our district. And that is not good for our district. I only have a few meetings left to represent anybody, the district, if you will, as a whole. And I can only say that after I leave the board, that is one thing I would come back for, is anything related to saving Walker Winter. And I thank you all for being here.
Thank you, Mr. Neal. Mr. Cox.
Thank you, Dr. Weaver. I would like to echo Mr. Neal's comments. You know, all of our school buildings and our teachers have these relationships, but there's special work going on at Walker Winter that I believe is going to benefit the entire school district in the future. That was always the idea, kind of use it as a laboratory, and frankly, things have progressed so well, greater than we thought they would, and we certainly do have to do everything we can to see to it that that work continues. I'm not going to belabor the transportation issue. Everybody knows how I feel. Whatever we need to do. Now, I know we're not the only district. I was just reading an article in Livonia. When you have a micro publicly funded transportation system, it just comes with certain challenges. And those challenges are, you know, having people available to pick up the slack, you know, sitting there all the time. I don't know if collaboration is the answer, but it seems to me that the union wants to help. And we need to sit down and come up with a solution to this problem that works for everybody. It's going to be getting cold outside. I don't want kids standing on the street corner and moms and dads wondering what they're going to do last minute. And obviously. How about those kids? You know,
Our kids are best.
that is just wonderful. I'm like, no kidding, I'm in bed at 9:30, and that kid's as awake as he could be.
All day long.
And personality plus. It's so wonderful seeing the kids back. So that's all I have. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Cox. Ms. May.
Thank you. First of all, I just want to say thank you to our student leaders that came out this evening to lead us in the pledge. And congratulations to our employees of the year. And I'd also like to welcome our new hires and say congratulations to those who were promoted or elevated into new positions. One of the things that we voted on this evening was in regards to policy updates. And so when we talk about moving forward and making better decisions or correcting things, part of the things that we looked at is our policy, right? And that's what we are in charge of as a board, is our policy. And so we have taken a hard look at our policy, our board operating procedures, and so we have put some things in place in regards to our budget, as well as how we move forward as a board in decision-making. And so that was some of the things that we voted on this evening. I'd like to make a correction to the Finance Committee meeting summary that I shared. I negated to say Mrs. Hines' name. She was present at the meeting, so I wanted to correct that. Also, there was a question asked in regards to our Finance Committee meetings being in a board workshop, in a workshop manner. That will continue as we continue to go through our financial situation. So yes, we have found money, reallocated funds, but there are still decisions that have to be made. And so as long as we're in that process, it will continue to be in a board workshop format. That was what we voted on in my months are running together. I believe it was the August meeting. So I thank my fellow board members for agreeing to moving us to that format. It was a very informative, and everybody was able to hear the same information as well as the community. And really those workshops are about learning. It's not about decision making at that point in time. So I'm glad that we are able to do that way. I also wanted to share that I was really excited. I am having a moment up here, sorry. In terms of just being hot, and I'll put my fan away. Sorry. But I just wanted to share that I know that when I initially got on the board, I was informed that I think it was the next year we would be closing Walker Winter, and then there was a conversation where we would not be closing Walker Winter and would be looking at it becoming a like PBL and STEM-based school, and how it would then attract students to our district. It would be a specialized school, and I thought that was an awesome idea, and I am supportive of that idea. And I also have to share that Walker Winter has a special place in my heart. My son went to Walker Winter, so I know firsthand what occurred. It was some years ago, he's 21, but he did go to Walker Winter. So it does hold a special place in my heart, and Julie Mitage knows that. We always talked about it, so I just wanted to share that as we're moving forward in this process that we have to continue to go through, that we really, I would like to see us looking at ways to generate revenue, to bring students in, and not ways in which we're pushing students out. So, and with that being said, so I took my glasses off, that's all I have for tonight. So thank you guys for hanging in there with us tonight, and thank you for being here.
Thank you, Ms. Hines.
Yes, I'd like to congratulate all the new hires, congratulate everyone who received the Employee of the Year awards. I'd like to give kudos to Ms. Curry. She's doing an amazing job. I'm so proud of her. I definitely have a special place in my heart with Walker Winter. Usually when I run for a school board, I walk to neighborhoods, and I've noticed like how far the district is 26 miles. So it is important to have kids that go to school near their homes, you know, because that could be a busing issue as well. And I do miss the Talented and Gifted program, you know, so, you know, I know a lot of people really enjoyed that program. I'm pretty excited about the homecoming events coming up for Wayne and Glenn. I'm really looking forward to going to the games. I'm looking forward to the trunk or treat. I'd just like to say I'm the president of the Wayne Westland Greater Area Kiwanis Club. We're official now, so we have our meetings on the second Tuesday of the month and the fourth Tuesday of the month at the Westland Library. We're working to get like some kids over at John Glenn, like a Key Club. I want to get over to Wayne Memorial. We're working on getting some groups to sponsor those kids, so I'm really excited about that. So, I mean, I definitely want to visit some of the schools and go to the PTO meetings and let them know about those programs, because it helps with literacy. You know, we lost a lot of money with the state with that. So I'm really excited about promoting those programs.
Thank you, Ms. Hines. I'll save some of these for tomorrow night, but I do want to say that I am proud of every department that functions within the Wayne Westland School District. And I am proud of our bus drivers and administrators who work very hard every day to get our kids to school. I will say, though, that these route cancellations have to stop. They have to stop. I don't know what the answer is. We've got it out there, we're hiring, but we have got to get our kids to school. And especially, I think Mr. Cox mentioned it, a few moments ago, it's going to start getting cold pretty soon. And so I don't want anyone from transportation to miss what I said first. And that is, I appreciate you and everything you do. But we've got to get our students to school. And at this point, I'm willing to work with administration to do whatever it takes to get our kids to school. The operating millage, I misspoke our last meeting and called it the sinking fund. It is our operating millage, and it is a Headley Amendment rollback that we need to recoup from the businesses in our area. So I'm asking, begging, dragooning, whatever I have to say, to get Wayne Westland to the polls and approve this.
You want to stop after?
That is my comments for this evening.
Yeah.
I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
So
Support.
moved by May, by Neal. All those in favor say aye. Aye. And we are dismissed.